So I mentioned that I am going to relocate the batteries in the van, so I've got better access to them and to allow me to modify the battery box so I can get that nice seat in. But these heavy cables are expensive, and then I remembered that I've got the falling to bits 1960s bus in my forest, so I knew where the battery box is. It's a good distance from the engine, so I figured it must have some long battery cables. I located the end at the battery box, and then I decided I had to find how to get access to the starter motor to find the other end. There's no access to the starter motor from the front. Now this bus, it's been sitting here for a long time. It was the chicken coop for nearly a decade. It served its purpose really well until it didn't. And I tried to get rid of it by just getting a scrap metal company to come and pull it away, but apparently it was too much work. It wouldn't be economical for them. The air brakes are completely seized, and the whole thing's full of chicken manure, of course. So what I'm having to do is I'm basically picking this bus apart, part by part, and disposing of everything. The wood all goes to the bonfire pile waiting for a rainy day, and the metal goes to that scrap metal skip that I've mentioned before. But of course that also means, on the plus side, that I'm able to scavenge a whole load of different kind of materials from this thing.
Well, now I know what I'm going to be making my mud flaps out of. Needs a wash, but that's good thick rubber.
And underneath that mat I found the access hatch to the gearbox, which led me to the access hatches on either side of the engine so that I could find that starter motor. Got that disconnected and then traced the wires back, breaking all the clips so that I can get several really good lengths of heavy battery cables. So that's a big saving. Meanwhile, great news. The toilet arrived. Now, they call this a composting toilet, but let's be honest, it's not really going to be used as a composting toilet. Even the instructions say that the composting takes 24 months and no one's going to leave stuff in there for 24 months to compost. Anyway, the reason I actually decided on this particular model, I'm envisaging this toilet as being for emergencies. I'm hoping to be able to find places or park up in places where there is a toilet. But the reason I picked this one is because it lifts up like this, so that the sitting height is much higher, but then it folds down again and can put it in that little cupboard that I'm building. It's nice and compact. The model is Trobolo Wondergo separating toilet, and it came in at 177 euros. So now I've got the toilet, I can do the cupboard to house the toilet, but I really want to get this back room completely finished, and I decided to make a change. On this wall that you've seen before, I decided to switch around the order that the materials went on. Taking the aluminium off, taking that lead channel off, the wiring channel, and I'm going to put them back on so that the channel for the wiring is on top of the aluminium piece of wall. That way, if at any point in the future I need to have access to it, I can just take that off without having to dismantle the whole wall. And I'm going to do some wiring at this stage because these special LEDs have arrived. And also because one of my neighbours has actually been watching my videos, and in the last video I said that I only had green wire, so he supplied me with 2 big rolls of blue and brown wire so I can get this all tidied up at the same time. Big thanks to him. Now, as the wiring that I'm putting in here is intended to be permanent, this isn't just testing out things, I decided to install a fuse box. Now, I got 2 of these fuse boxes, and the intention is that one will be for the kind of the living quarters and all the appliances and lights in there. The other one will be more for the engine side, everything that's used by when you're actually driving the car, lights and all that kind of thing. But I just installed this temporarily on the wall so I could put a fuse before these LED lights. Now, I'm not going to list the price of the fuse boxes just yet. I'll do that when I actually install them permanently.
So this is the expensive LED light strip. €100 for this. Zero blue light.
And it works. Now, these are obviously way too bright for what I want them. I want them for evening lighting, but they're going to be going inside that channel. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so I put this back on just to see how this is all working. I've got the wires in for this LED strip. There's going to be the other 2. But I put it on the switch up here. I'm going to have another switch for the daylight panel. And I'm actually going to, now that I've seen it, I'm going to probably put a dimmer switch in between, but that's basically how it's working. So these are shining downwards, the little ones are shining upwards. You can see them through underneath the cupboard, which I quite like. We've got a little bit of light. I don't know if you can even see that. So you have a little bit of light coming through in the cupboards. Not a lot, but a little bit. Quite nice. I'm not too displeased with that. I'm quite happy about it. I think this is going to work nice. So next on the list is the LED channel for the back wall. So I got that done. Cut, cleaned and sprayed. And then the attachment system for the light panel that's going to go on the ceiling of the back room. This is a little bit of metal that I got from one of those garden trellises. I'm just sanding, cleaning all the paint off of that, and I'm going to treat that with graphite paste. And then I got a little bit of one of my scrap pieces of metal. It's a tiny little bit of angle iron. Clean that up, and I'm going to try, it's steel, but I'm going to try putting the graphite on that and see how that works as well. I think they turned out quite nice, and even the little steel piece that I did turned out really nice with the graphite treatment. I also sanded and treated the metal frame of this light panel with the graphite paste. And then came the difficult part, getting this panel actually fixed up there onto the ceiling. I don't know who it is that decided that we should just have 2 hands, but one more would have been really useful. Obviously I've pre-drilled the holes for the cables, and it took a little while, but eventually I got it there. Now I get annoyed with YouTube channels that bang on all the time about liking and subscribing, but if you're enjoying this content, then, well, consider it. It really does help. It costs nothing. See you on the next one.
gold.